new people? Any new?
No, nothing so much.
All right.
I'm actually gonna remember to hit.
Hey.
All right,
These
let's
don't-
get this started. That music and stuff. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
geez. Sorry, I think I got tangled up in your.
Oh no, we got our Swartz tangled.
Yep.
There we go.
All right.
Professionalism.
Exactly, guys. Welcome to another episode of Mansplaining with Jake and Dave. I'm Dave.
I'm Jake.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is the show for guys by dudes who basically don't know shit, but we're gonna talk like we do. Otherwise,
Well, I mean,
like
here's
basically like guys, right?
yeah. Like we are gonna give advice because of the way that we've fucked up.
Mhm.
That's the kind of advice I like to give. Is like, it's like, oh, you don't know. No, I know.
Oh, I know.
I'm very aware. I've done this before. In fact, I've failed real hard at it. So I'm like the third base coach. It's like, I'm not putting my hands up being like, whoa. I'm just like, hey, look, yeah, maybe. Just fucking, you do you, but I'm just saying,
That'd be so funny. Like you're running the third, trying to figure out if you should go home or not. And the third base coach is like,
if you want to, go ahead. I wouldn't last very long in the league. I mean, you're fucking fired. Everyone gets thrown out. What the fuck you doing?
You're like, listen, I don't know. I don't want to tell somebody how to live. I'm just saying, yeah. This week, we're trying to think about because the reason why we're doing the show today during the daytime instead of doing it at night on Thursdays we normally do is because we got shit to do tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're both on shows. See how we are real comedians. All right.
Yeah. See.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you're real comedians, what the fuck are you doing? And
Yeah.
well, because I don't know. I don't know. So let's see current events. We can go by real quick. Fucking Cosby's out. Somebody fucking said his name 3 times in front of a mirror, and now he's out of prison. So
I saw a meme. It was one of those the Pawn Star memes.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, free Britney Spears, and then then it said the universe. The best I could do is Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
I thought that was one of the funnier ones.
I didn't understand how the fuck he got out, and then I was looking to be like, oh, okay, that's the reason why.
Yeah, because like they did some shenanigans that they shouldn't have done. Like
the prosecutor basically the prosecutor that came out. Well, the first prosecutor, because they knew they could. They didn't have enough evidence, I guess, to go on a what was that, on a felony or sort of an actual crime. Even though we definitely fucking did it, I think, allegedly, and. But they're like, well, in a civil case, we need you, if you tell this, we can't, use this against you.
Yeah.
He's like, all right. And so they won the civil case, and then the next prosecutor, when the next cases came up, he's like, oh, we're going to use.
Yeah, which you can't do.
Yeah, we're going to use that basically violates his Fifth Amendment. So.
Which, I mean, hey, man, I as much as I want to be like Bill Cosby's a bag of shit, which he kind of is. And he's just a sketchy dude. That's why, like, a lot of these super clean comics, not all of them, but like the ones that are like really clean, they're the ones that are most fucked up. And the ones that are like really fucked up on stage are actually probably the nicest guys you ever fucking meet in your life.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's always this weird, bizarre thing. But no, but like fucking dude, like.
It sucks because there was a lot. I mean, I saw a lot of people on my timelines and various timelines and stuff like that who have dealt with have been. Sexually assaulted and stuff like that, man. This really, really fucked with them, and I totally get that. And it's it sucks, but like there's a reason why the legal system is supposed to work the way that it does.
Yeah, because
I'm not defending the fact that this guy got out. You know, I'm saying I'm not saying it's a good thing, but this is kind of I don't know. I don't want to try to say this is what happens. It's not that, but like they went after his character as opposed to with I don't know.
They basically They thought they could cheat because of morality. Like, hey, we're the ones that are like super moral here. We're trying to put away a bad man. We'll pull out all the stops, and it's like that's not how the justice system works. Nor should it.
Yeah. So,
I mean, I don't want the guy out either. But yet, if this is how he got arrested, if this is how he got in, then you guys fucking did it wrong.
Yeah.
Go back and do it again.
If anything, which I don't even know if they can necessarily.
They might not be able to
unless they have new evidence on the other cases and stuff, which is entirely possible.
Yeah,
but it's like. Yeah. If anything, man, the one thing that I could take solace in is that his entire fucking reputation and his whole body of work has been tainted beyond belief. There's never going to be a time like I could say, like, you know, back in the day, Bill Cosby was like was one of the top comics. He was like a master joke writer. He did so much for so many, you know, as far as like his TV shows and all this other stuff, from Fat Albert to the Cosby Show and everything like that. But there's always going to be that really big asterisk, like, oh yeah, he also fucking raped a shitload of people, and it's a shitload of women.
By the way, like, I mean, maybe it's just me. I mean, maybe I just don't understand it. It's probably a good thing that I don't understand it. I think it's fucking weird and stupid. Why would you do that? Why would you want to drug somebody to the point where, like, they're not even moving and then fuck them?
It was all power. That's all power. Like that guy.
Is that what it is? Because
it's seriously, it's
because if I'm having sex with somebody, I want them to be awake, and 2, have fun. Like, well, see, you know what I mean?
That's the thing. That's where you differ from Bill Cosby. You see, is that you're actually thinking about your partner and like, hey, I want this to be an enjoyable experience as opposed to something like a predator just eating something out in the, you know, and just take it as prey. I think that's the way that he saw that. So
that's fucking whack, dude.
Yeah, that's
maybe that's what makes me a better guy than him, I guess.
Yeah,
pretty low bar, but I'll take it.
Right. Which that actually leads me to another thought that I had. This is just something, and this is probably good. This might turn into a bit, but you know, when somebody like you see online, like that person's a racist, that person's a misogynist, and stuff like that. I'm like, I think you should have to prove that you're not a racist before you call somebody else a racist.
Yeah.
You know, it's just one of those things where, like, okay, so I'll use Bill Cosby as an example. It's very easy to say that you're a much better person than Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
I totally get that. Morally, absolutely, anybody can do that. Well, first of all, I don't fucking victimize everybody that I have sex with. I don't feel like I'm entitled to anything. Like, oh, I'm a better person. Yeah. How much have you done to influence culture over the past 20 years? Like, oh, well, I've done that. Well, he fucking has.
Yeah.
And not to say that it's one of those things where I'm like, no, there was a big part of that. Like, I don't know. I saw, like, there was a comic that had a bit many years ago where they were talking about how, like, presidents and stuff like that, like, oh, they're all racist and stuff. And I always wanted to go, like, well, prove to me that you aren't, first. And second of all, show me a world leader back in the 1940s that wasn't a racist.
Yeah.
Show it. Go ahead. I'll wait. You know?
And you could say FDR, but that's not true because he threw a bunch of Japanese people to internment camps just because they were Japanese.
Yeah, well, it was weird. There was this one, I forgot. I was listening on Dan Carlin's podcast where the order that was given says that, you know, nobody from like another country should not be anywhere near any military or like installations or any strategic places to be named later and all this other stuff, which seems like it's fairly innocuous. But the guy who was in charge of implementing it, and I forgot the general's name, is like, okay, that's pretty much the entire West Coast.
Yeah.
And we're going to take all these people and we're going to turn them. And like the amount is staggering because they also did take some Germans and some Italians, but it's small compared to how many Asians they did.
My mom grew up in Columbus, Ohio, and there's actually a grip of Germans that live there. And my grandfather told me that back in the day, during the World War II, all the Germans had to basically, like, they could still live their lives, but they had to check in like once a week at the police station and tell them where the fuck they were going.
Yeah.
Which is weird that, like, they could just do that, but yet the Japanese were like, get the fuck in the camp. Like, that's the...
Well, it's easier to spot Japanese people than it is to find Germans and Italians, apparently.
Yeah,
so,
but, like...
You know, that's what I always thought.
But like
definitely racial...
Yeah, but like the fact they threw them in the camps, I mean, that fucking... That part of history is fucked.
No, totally.
Yeah, that's fucked up, man. I mean, to this day, I still, like, what was it? Carlin had a joke. George Carlin, not Dan Carlin. George Carlin had a joke about it. He goes, about rights. He basically says that they're basically just a list of privileges. He goes, if you don't believe me, then ask the Japanese back in 1940. It's like they were all good standing citizens. Nothing wrong with them. They no charges or none. And they were like, we have rights. And like, yeah, you do. Right this way into the internment camp. Yeah. And like the fact that we did it to him, I mean, that's so fucked up. I mean, if that that's a huge black eye on us, and that's when we and
one of many,
one of many. But like that one, in my opinion, is right up there with slavery.
Yeah.
Because I mean, slavery back in the day, everyone was fucking doing it. So I'm not dismissing it, but like
if we weren't one of the last people to get last countries to abolish,
yeah,
it wouldn't have been it. It's one of those things.
Well, we weren't the last one. We actually,
Russia was.
Brazil didn't do it till the 70s.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
But like at the same time, like 1940, we should have fucking known better.
Yeah.
And we did it anyway. So
well, it's kind of crazy. Like one of the things that's interesting, if listening to Supernova in the East, with which is a series that he just Dan Carlin just finished up about the Asian Pacific War.
Yeah,
it's fucking fascinating because it's one of those things where one of the things he's tries to get across is that it's easy to make a moral decision from 2021 looking back to 1940.
Yeah.
But if you really look at what the people there were seeing and what they were going through and stuff like that, and not to say that makes it right, but at least you kind of see what the fuck they were going through, and you're like, okay, how did they come to this conclusion? And it's really crazy. It's kind of like when we was talking about like there was these guys called the Bomber Mafia, which kind of started back out but between World War I and World War II, and their whole idea is that if we can get precision bombing down, to exact science, like dropping these bombs right in the pickle barrel, all that other stuff, then we can do strategic spots and civilian areas and everything, and we can end the war quicker.
Yeah.
And then at some point, because at one point, like America was like, we're not going to bomb cities and stuff, and then after some way towards World War II, like fuck that. We're bombing like I think when Germany started bombing London, and then they're like, "Oh, is that how it's going now? All right, great. Well, once we get over there, we're gonna do nonstop bombing raids on all of your cities and stuff, right?"
Yeah.
And then like Japan, when we finally got close enough where we could start bombing, like Tokyo and
Dresden.
Oh yeah,
we fucking bombed the hell out of Dresden.
But we fucking like at one point like. Once Curtis LeMay got involved, and he was like, all right, what are most of these cities made out of? Oh, wood houses? Okay, we're going to use this new thing called napalm.
Ooh, yeah.
And we're just going to burn the fuck out of everything. And that guy was responsible for so much death.
Yeah.
But now, if you look about it, I mean, granted, our precision bomb, it's kind of weird. Like, in that particular area, they're like, yeah, fuck this precision bombing. We're just burning everything down.
Yeah.
And then it gets to, like, now they're like, no, we're actually going to do precision bombing.
Yeah.
But it's fucking crazy. But
yeah.
So either I don't know, why are we talking about this?
Well,
we went from Cosby to bombing cities.
Yeah. We kept it about comedy at least. We're bombing.
Yeah.
We're bombing.
Speaking of comedy, we were at a mic last night.
Yeah.
Which was fun. I was so fucking tired. Like so fucking tired.
Yeah. I mean, I had the day off yesterday, so I was fine. But yeah, I haven't been going to a lot of mics lately because I don't know, I've just been tired as fuck.
Yeah.
But like I went to one last night that I used to go to all the time, and it was nice. Did some new material, saw some people that I haven't seen in a while. It was nice. I need to go out more. That's definitely for And plus I got shows coming up.
Yeah.
That I got a show. I'll just do it now. Do the plug now.
Yeah.
I got a show tomorrow, Thursday, in Sedalia at the is it Wide Open bar, and then I also got a show. I think it's the 17th, July 17th, Mercury Cafe. I'll be featuring, so I'll do some group of time so you guys can see me for longer, so that's going to be fun.
I'm going to be at, I can't even remember the place.
I think it's Wallace and Abbott.
Yeah, Wallace and Abbott Distillery in Longmont tomorrow night. I think the show starts around 8-ish or so.
It's the old Long Tucky. If you go into Google, type in Long Tucky, it's in Longmont, Colorado. Wham! You'll see it. So I'm actually doing it, I think, on the 22nd.
Yeah.
So. Yeah,
it's kind of nice to be like, hey, we have dates. That was great.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome.
Yeah. So
it's
one of the cool thing was like I forgot what it's like getting used to like meeting new comics and stuff, which was kind of nice. I mean, I wasn't feeling too super social just because I was freaking
I'm like
tired.
dude. Yeah,
but it's also kind of weird. Like at some point, like one of the things I thought that was really cool seeing. A lot of comics work on new material.
Yeah, that's what open mics are for, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes, I mean, I know other comics that, like Jeff Cohn, he just fucking hammers out those bits over years and years and years. It's not like he's not thinking of anything else.
Jeff is a grinder, man.
Yeah, he just fucking grinds, and so it's always nice to see when he's doing new stuff. I saw other comics doing new material, which I mean, we've known these guys for years and stuff, so we pretty much know their almost entire repertoire, just like they know ours, but. Watching that, I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's refreshing. Fucking Barry had some great new stuff out there last night. So that part was pretty cool. And then there was a lot of young comics where it's so funny because there was these two, they could have been more like Spangler and Waldorf, these two drunk dudes at the bar which in a lot of cases they were saying funnier shit than the comics up there were.
Oh my God. Yeah, they were. They really were.
Because at first they were just heckling to themselves. They weren't trying to be loud. Towards the end, they're like, fuck you.
Yeah. My favorite thing that those two old fucks said to each other was one of them looked at the other one and said, hey, how many fingers am I holding up? And he did this shit. And I was like, that made me laugh real hard. And then they did something really fucked up with that one Asian comic. And they said something like, me love you long time or something like that. I'm like, oh my God. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And the poor girl had no idea what the fuck to say to that, which... Whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. What's always really interesting, like I figured this out after my second open mic, and this was obviously years ago, is that if you never set up a punchline with a question to the audience.
Oh, no. Because you open the door.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, has anybody ever ate pickles before? And, you know, something is just... Because you know, like, oh, the answer is going to be no, but the thing is somebody yells out, pickles killed my grandmother.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, that wasn't the answer that I needed in order to get to this punchline. And they're
and then it's just a fucking clusterfuck because everyone's talking now.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, yeah, you know what? Pickles do kill people. I think they do, guys. Yeah. And so at what point, I forgot what comic, you said, hey, have you ever did such and such or whatever? And I just kind of looked at him while I'm like, I refuse to give this comic anything. I'm not going to give him a yes. I'm not clapping and everything. I'm like, do your fucking joke.
I got a joke about an MRI machine incident that I had. And I always started off by asking the crowd if they've ever had the contrast. Yeah. Shit like that. I think maybe something I should stop doing. Because it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, it does open the door.
But, you know, if somebody, I mean, the only answer to that, they're either going to be like yes or no. And you kind of get an idea where other folks, because it does add to the bit, but that's something that's very specific.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yeah,
I guess sometimes maybe I'll qualify that when you leave with such an open-ended because if people don't know what you're talking about, because you said I had an MRI done. Anybody had an MRI done before? So that's already boom focused in there. But if you said, hey, anybody been to the doctor before?
They're like, yeah, I went there. They said I had crabs. Like, oh, fuck. Like, fuck.
It was an ear, nose, and throat bit. Ear, nose, and throat bit. Now I can't fucking do it. But it was kind of interesting. There's other stuff I was going to talk to you about, but I don't want to do it on here.
Yeah, we'll do it off air. But it was fun. It was like it's open mics is supposed to be good. They're supposed to be a good thing. Like you need them. Also, like, if you're gonna just keep on, I mean, that's just why I kind of don't go out. I hate being one of those comics who just goes up on stage and is like my best ofs.
Yeah,
like you want to do new shit, and there's times the well's dry sometimes. Like I don't have it. Like I don't have anything new, so it happens.
Like I really shouldn't have even been here, but but I felt that way about school a lot of times. Like I have no desire to learn anything. I really shouldn't even be here. I'm only going to distract people from learning. I'm only going to be like,
I feel you in that one.
But no, I went because I've been working on this bit or this chunk and stuff, and so I wanted to get it ready. So probably after tomorrow, unless I'm on a showcase, I'm probably not going to hear that bit or not going to hear that bit out of me for a while, just because I'm like, all right, the next place I have to work I have to work in front of actual crowds instead of comedians because they've already heard it. I'm like, all right.
Well, I mean, that's your bit about being a swinger.
Yeah, the lifestyle stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got it down pat, so yeah, exactly.
So now it's kind of like the only place to work on it is in front of actual crowds.
Yeah,
so
like you got it where you want it. That's the beauty of like when you actually have a joke right where you want it. It's like you could literally just put it on a shelf and be like,
yep,
and then be like, all right, I'll pull you out when I need you.
Yeah,
because I know exactly what the fuck to do.
And now we'll see what happens when it actually goes in front of if I end up going like, let's say it's a bunch of Christian conservatives at this place tomorrow night, then I'm like, all right, great, now I get to see, because this definitely is not going to go over well. Yeah. But
the likelihood of that happening is more could happen to me than you.
Yeah,
you're going to Longmont. I'm going to fucking Sedalia.
Yeah, basically
there's a Blue Lives Matter flag at the fucking place I'm performing at.
Yeah. Basically, as soon as you walk out of Denver, it turns into a little house on the prairie.
Oh man, it's Alabama as fuck.
Which is cool. That's one of those things. I want to make everybody laugh. It's nice being around just kind of blue collar folks and stuff. So okay. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to cut this a little short today. But so we're gonna get right to our topic instead of just droning out. I wanted to talk about bravery a bit, and it's weird because people kind of move the goalpost around on so many words.
sure as fuck is one of them.
Yeah, and bravery. The best way to describe it, like how do you become brave? I'm like, you do. I think it was from like a George Clooney movie. I think from Three Kings or whatever. He says you do the thing you're most afraid of, and then you get the bravery afterwards.
Yeah,
it's not before.
Yeah.
So, there's like I work in Romper Room now. The place that I work at, it's mostly people who are under the age of 24 years old. And so there's a lot. It's interesting because rather than being annoyed by everything, I really should be using it like just studying these kids and see where they're coming from.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a couple of folks out there that I feel that they think that they're being brave. Because I've had this experience with like younger kids that I worked with, even like in Macaroni Grill, where this guy's like, you know, we're getting into it, we're arguing and stuff, and I'm like, there's going to be a point where I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'm either going to jail or I'm going to the morgue. I don't give a shit anymore. Like, I don't fucking care. And that's when they're like, whoa, wait a second, why are you getting violent? I'm like, no. You instigated this. Yeah, this is what happens when you do this with another adult. And so I'm like, you're not being brave.
No.
You're just talking shit, instigating. You're trying to be as brave as you think you were online, and then you actually get into a place where it's like, oh shit, violence is about to ensue. Yeah. And it's not going to be good for any of that. So, yeah, it's a bizarre thing, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's
like, I know I'm not brave.
I mean, sometimes I don't really pat myself on the back about it, but yeah, I mean,
I've done brave shit before, but I don't consider myself brave.
Yeah. Like, I mean, if you're doing brave shit, it means like you're gonna be terrified the whole time you're doing it, but you're doing it anyway.
Right.
Like with me, I used to talk shit to my dad, and then he used to beat the shit out of me. so like whenever after I realized that was like the modus operandi. Whenever I would get older and start talking shit, I realized this is gonna go bad.
Yeah.
And I still would do it anyway. But then I catch a fucking hand to the face. You're like, not like a closed hand to the face. Oh, and but like shit like that, or like when somebody who's powerful's talking nonsense, and you're like, yo, you're full of shit. Mm-hmm. That's brave.
Right.
I'll give you that, because like you're risking a lot of shit. This person is a fucking sociopath and will ruin you.
Yeah.
But you're like, nah, bro, you're a dick. Like,
but still, you have to stand up and even
own it though. You have to own it too.
You gotta own it, even if there's an ass whooping on its way. You're like, fuck.
Let's go.
You know what? I did it. All right, let's.
I mean, but like at the same time, like don't like I'll do that. Plus, like we were talking about it earlier. This kind of is the same thing too. A lot of people think that if they're negative, that's like a personality. Like, like.
Fucking from there, right here.
Yeah, same. I have that problem too.
Yeah, don't mistake being negative for being interesting.
Yeah, but that also goes into the whole talking shit thing, where it's like people think if they talk shit, like nothing's gonna happen. That's the thing. Like women don't understand. Like I've talked to women about it, and they're like, "Well, that's assault." I'm like, you kind of don't understand where this is coming from.
Yeah,
it's not like whenever women argue with people, like they don't realize like there's an ass whooping possibly like on the table. With men, that's totally on the table.
I would say from our generation, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think from the younger generations and stuff, because this goes into that whole bit where I'm like, when I was turning around on peace and love and stuff, and when the Gen X around then, that generation decided not to spank their kids or doing all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of freed up a lot. There's a lot of guys out there that I don't think they understand what the physical consequences. They kind of know, they do, but it's also like if you've never really been exposed to it and you don't know how you're going to react in that situation and stuff, I'm like, well, your only thing you have to go on is what your testosterone is telling you.
I mean, also like
you can handle this, bro.
Yeah, I'm not like over here being like, oh, the good old days. People would just throw hands randomly.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not.
Be in the middle of the grocery store. Hey, your kid is being misbehaving. I'm going to smack him for you. Oh, thanks, because I'm doing something else.
Yeah, no. I mean, but like I'm just saying, like, and in fact, I kind of discourage it because I think fighting's fucking dumb. Because it always goes better in your head than it does in real life. Because like you think you're gonna have like the sweet knockout and all this shit like that. When in reality, it's just you two old fucks rolling around on the ground, getting sweaty and yelling fucking shit at each other. That's all it's gonna be.
It's like you really think it's gonna be like a freaking Conor McGregor fucking first round knockout. When really it's gonna be that third round Conor getting submitted.
Yeah.
And that we're getting knocked out.
I mean, I would prefer not to, but like at the same time, like I don't really think it's a good idea for you to like shy away from the fact that that might happen.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's usually like that's a failure to really communicate at the very end once physical violence enters it. But you still always got to be aware for it. So, but yeah, I don't know. That's one of those things that the being negative or is thinking you're like having something to say is versus actually, I don't know, putting something out there useful for the world. You know?
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's one thing to just, I mean, I can see why it's easy to be negative right now.
Totally.
It's very fucking easy, and I get it. And I get it. Because there's a lot of just shit-ass people in this fucking world right now.
Yeah, the tricky part is not to be one of them.
Yeah, don't fall into the trap. But like
I was getting snappy at a lot of people this past week just because at my job when they would come up, like, hey, do you know where my ticket is? And I'm like, I cannot think straight right now.
Yeah.
Like, this is one of the things, like, I've worked every position in a restaurant with the exception of GM. Even in some case from catering, I was a GM. So, actually, yeah, I've worked every position. All right.
Yeah.
The best way to describe, because it's different type of being in the weeds, meaning you're really busy, the restaurant speak. Whether you're a host in the weeds is different from being a server in the weeds, which is different from being a bartender or a cook.
Yeah.
Being a cook in the weeds is like the best way I could describe it to you guys, and for any servers out there listening. What I want you to do is put some headphones on and turn on music full blast. Then you go sit next to your TV and turn that on full blast. Now try to read a book.
That's a good analogy.
Now during that, hope another server comes up and says, "Hey, do you know where my ticket is?" And you're gonna be like, "Fuck you!" Like,
yeah,
it's it's really maddening because you're listening to everybody else in the kitchen. You're listening to that fucking demon spawn of a ticket printer that's constantly going.
Oh, that fucking noise that wakes up in my yeah.
You're trying to communicate with everybody in the kitchen, plus make sure that you're putting out a good product and stuff. And then when somebody comes up, "Hey, can I have some ranch?" And I'm like, I'm not the person you asked for ranch. That guy over there is fucking. Last time you came here for ranch. Why the fuck do you keep coming? I'm like, why are you getting so angry? What do you mean? Why am I getting so angry? Like, did you not hear my analogy? And it's been like fucking being on the line and bitching about servers. Oh my god, it's so fun.
Yeah. It's like the good old days.
It is, but I'm trying to like, oh wait, this isn't making anything better.
Yeah, it was the last time I actually had to deal with servers and shit. It's been a while, but I worked in kitchens and stuff. But like, that makes it. Plus the sound the printer makes.
Yeah.
Like whatever the fucking sound your printer makes. That's the kind of shit that like they can make alarm clock noises out of that.
Yeah.
Because like once you hear it, you're like,
Shit. Like about this ticket, I'm like hoping it's only 1 or 2 pizzas.
Yeah.
If it's only 1 or 2 pizzas, I can knock that out. And like we do a pizza a minute basically.
Oof.
We did 600 last Saturday. We do on an average 300 to 400 a night. We're doing fucking badass work here, and there's only 3 of us on the line when we're doing it. That's how fucking awesome this place is, or how awesome we are. But it's weird how nobody else really sees that. Where they're like, we had somebody that come up and was complaining they didn't get a break. And we just kind of looked at him. I'm like, we've been here 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, you asshole. Like, you're talking to the wrong fucking person.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to actually have a conversation about this, let's talk about something else. And so that's usually what we do.
But, like, nowadays, it's probably best to just try and, like I've been really getting deep into, like, this Carl Jung shit, which I'm really a fan of. Because, like, it basically says, like, if you're pissed off at this guy, it says something about you. Like, why is this pissing you off?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what about him opens up a door to what you know what I'm saying? It's like it's a weird mirror situation.
No, totally. I didn't get it from Carl Jung, but it was actually from Dr. Phil, who's like just as good, I think.
Dr. Phil.
But he was like, the thing I don't like about me is the thing I can't fucking stand about you.
Yeah.
So,
oh, absolutely.
It's for this one person that was there, it's just kind of like I feel like they're not being genuine. They don't know how to be genuine yet because they're young.
Yeah.
Right? And so maybe that's like a reflection where I'm like, am I being as genuine as possible? Like, there was a couple of moments last night where Jeff was talking about something like a woman came up to him after the show and says, "What else are you good at? Because I don't know if comedy's for you." And he said,
Jeff?
Yeah, it's Jeff.
Last night?
No. He was
telling
us about a show that he did years ago, and
fuck that bitch. Not Jeff, but like fuck the bitch who told him that.
Right, and he was like, "Oh, I thank you for your honesty." And I'm like, like Jeff, you should have been like, "Great, you know what? I don't like your hairstyle, and I don't know who the fuck taught you how to do makeup before you walked out of the house in the morning. I'm just giving you my opinion about you."
Yeah,
and I was like, "Wow, this is really aggressive." This as it's coming out of my mouth.
Did you use it, but the fucking makeup shotgun from The Simpsons?
Yeah, exactly. And it was weird. He was like, "No, I wouldn't have said that." I'm like, "No, I probably wouldn't either." But it's one of those things when somebody comes up, I want to give you my opinion. Well, I want to give you my opinion of you.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, it was weird. Where I'm like, well, I feel like I'm being genuinely assholish right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, huh.
Well,
I'm still trying to figure that out exactly. What's the genuine version of me?
I've dealt with this with people a lot, especially some family members who I won't name, but they'll sit there and say, I'm blunt, I'm real, I'm upfront. Here's the problem is that you go at them with the same attitude, they get fucking pissed.
Oh, yeah.
Because they can't handle it. They can dish it, they just can't handle it.
We know a couple people like that.
It's the fucking worst because it's like you got to be able to do both.
Yeah.
And if you can't do both, that means your ass is paper thin. Like and you just want to be on the offensive, and the moment you get on the defensive, you don't like it.
Yeah.
You don't like it. So what you do is you turn up the offense more, and that just makes you look like an asshole. But then, like, all of a sudden, you think you're interesting because you're an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's the worst. I fucking can't stand it because you don't learn anything from it.
Yeah.
You just think you're fucking,
What's the MMA analogy? Everybody wants to be the hammer. Nobody wants to be the nail.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's just, exactly. It's one of those things, dude. It's, I don't know. But, like, you got to be able to, like, see that and go, what about that motherfucker? What about him? Why do you hate this dude so much? I mean, why are you annoyed by him?
It's really, really important otherwise, because I'm like, you know what? This is not doing me any favors. I'm not being like, I'd like to think that I'm a decent dude, and I'm like, well, I'm not being a decent guy right now. I'm being fucking really, really, like...
Pennywise. Like that.
I almost kind of snapped at one of the managers at some point. It was like the first when we were trying to do toast boards and charcuterie boards, and we just did not have the staff to do those plus pizza.
Yeah,
it was just too many things on the menu, and the amount of toast, the toaster that I have, I can either do one or the other. I can't do both, and the tickets are saying I need to do like. The chef was like, dude, I need 10 more charcuterie boards and 15 more toast boards. I'm like, and I'm slicing up, I'm constructing all these. It's not like I'm just throwing it on a plate.
Yeah.
And so at one point, a manager comes up, he's like, so where is this ticket? I'm like, I'm making 10 boards of this, and I'm making 15 boards of this.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I am trying to communicate. And I look back at her, and I'm like, and I am telling you, I'm doing 10 of this and 15 of this. And she's like, all right. And she just kind of walked away.
And
I was like, and by the way, that was not the best way to handle it.
Also, that's not the best way for her to handle it either.
But exactly. But now... the whole thing is I'm like, look, now I'm fucking laser focused on everything that this person is doing wrong.
Yeah. Because
I'm like, oh, now I'm being
you also want to win the argument.
Yeah. And that's one of the things where I'm like, okay, that's not being a good team player. So, like, there was times, not to go to, I'm thinking more about this because I got to leave in a little bit. But but like somebody would come up and say, yeah, this pizza, they said it tastes burnt, and I'm like. Did you tell them it's a Napolitano-style pizza that's cooked in an oven at 750 degrees and a minute and 30 seconds? That it's not. This is how the pizza's going to taste. Now, I'm like, shit. All right, hold on. These guys don't know how the pizza's being made, right? Which if that's a failure on training doesn't matter. I could do something about it. So I was like, all right. So this is what's going on, man. This is what we can do to try to fix that. But I'm trying to give this guy the tools to explain to a customer. Yeah. Says, well. We'll do our best, but this is how the pizza gets made. And then if they have that, then the customer could be like, oh, okay, I get it. And so they know what to expect.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And I was like, oh, that's better than fucking snapping at everybody, Dave. Yeah. Why don't we do that?
That's one thing I hate about some managers when I used to work kitchens is like, sometimes you just get your head stoved in. Like you'll just get busy as fuck, and like the whole world's ordering everything from your station.
And it's one of the two things you didn't prep that day.
And like, or you did, but you didn't expect it to get this bad.
Yep.
And but like they'll start getting nippy at you, being like, "Where's my thing?" And it's like you don't really have any option but to kind of yell at them because it's like, "Yo, man, listen, I am up against it, dude. Do not fucking come at me and demand shit. I can't I can't do this.
Yeah,
you're not." And then they'll take it instead of them going like, "All right, I get it," I'm walking away. they literally double down and start getting madder at you, and you're like, I will throw a hot plate of cheese at you, you fucking asshole. Like, you just get so mad at them because it's like you don't like, and they understand too. Like they get their heads kicked in too. I mean, everyone has a turn at the table as far as that. But like when they're not in it, they don't understand, and then when they're in it, they act just like you. It's the fucking weirdest thing.
Yeah, it's really it's one of the things that I remember. My old boss, Mr. Nick, would say is like, sometimes we get so fucking busy, we're not gonna have time to like care about your feelings.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Sorry.
Yeah, and I used to tell people that all the time when I worked in restaurants. I was like, if I get all fucking psycho on you, like, don't take it personal. It's because I'm busy and you're asking for shit that I can't do right now.
Yeah.
Or you're demanding it. If you're asking for it, I'll be like, I'll get it when I can get it. And then if you go, okay, that's fine. That's whatever. I can accept that. But like, when they go, no, I need it now, I'll be like, well, I'll be a dickhead about it. Because I just want to purvey the point that like, yo, man, I'm fucking busy as shit. What do you want?
Yeah.
The fuck out of here.
Or guys would come up and they'd be like, hey, oh man, there should have been 2 pizzas on that ticket. I don't know.
Yeah, he went ahead, yeah.
Like, dude, show me the ticket then. I'm like, what? Like, I'm not a manager, but I still I'm trying not to act like one, but I'm like, show me the fucking ticket that says there's 2 pizzas on there. Because if there's not, I'm going to drag you out on this floor and say you're a liar, you're a thief, and you're, like, I don't know. It's weird because there's so many young kids, like, got this one kid who's, like, we gave him a pizza for lunch or two, like, a while back, and now every single day he's just, like, buzzing around trying to see if there's an extra pizza. And we're like, he doesn't understand how much he fucking annoys us. Yeah. And it's kind of weird where I'm, like, I don't know how to tell him, like, the only conversations we ever have is when you're trying to get something from me, which is why I don't want to talk to you. Like, I don't know if you know this. I know this was cute maybe like 6 months ago when you were in high school. Yeah. It's not cute now. Like, there's other employees that pay for their food. You're either going to pay for your food or you're not fucking getting anything. Yeah. So, like, now, there's a lot of times where, like, folks, you have extra pizzas? And I'm like, this one? And I throw it in the trash. And I'm like, I'm like, don't fucking ask me. And it's weird because, like, what they say, familiarity breeds contempt. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, well, no, we're not doing this, man. Yeah. And,
no, I mean, but it's just, I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, it's people just don't know. Like,
they don't. And so we got a nice way to talk about it, right?
Yeah, but also, I mean, it helps if you're direct too. I mean, that's why, like, people who are direct get a bad rap because, like, oh, he's an asshole. It's like, no, not all the time. Like, I get that rap sometimes. Yeah. And it's because, like, no, I want you to know, like, no. Yeah. That's no. Like, I'm not trying to be a dickhead. I'm not trying to fucking put you down. I'm not trying to, like, fucking talk shit at you. You asked me a question, I gave you an answer. You don't like the answer, that's my fucking problem. Right. And that's another problem, is that a lot of people want the answer they want, and when they don't get the answer they want, they all wild out and do fucking stupid shit.
Instant gratification doesn't work in a kitchen.
No.
So, I don't know. I'm excited. This is one thing. I'll say something good. I want to end on this topic.
Yeah, not all negativity. Come on now.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, bro. Dude. Why don't you talk about something positive? I am getting my ass kicked. I'm like 15 pizzas deep in, and it's just I'm running out of product, and I know I have to go stock soon. And I can't even look up because I know there's a bunch of servers in the window, and I kind of smiled because I'm like, this is exactly what I wanted. Not to be in the weeds like that, but I'm like, I'm doing a job where I'm not in charge. All I got to do is focus on these small things. I don't have to go talk to people. Not that I hate talking to people, but I wanted something where I didn't have to be charming all the time, and have to be like, hey, folks, how you doing? What's going, Yeah. I mean, I still kind of do because folks will come up and they're like, we really like your pizza. I'm like, oh, thank you so much. What, and,
yeah.
And there's that. And I was like, okay, when I get this down to where I'm just doing this during the days, and I can go back and do mics and more podcasts and more shows like we did last night, like we're doing right now. I'm like, oh, I'm going to be so much more fucking happy. So I'm happy that I took those steps, and I'm where I'm at right now. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, this is going to work well,
Oh yeah, no, it's when you put yourself in a good position.
Like, it took a long time for you to get away from sexy pizza.
God damn it did.
Yeah.
Fuck. Dude, it was one of those things too where it was like I felt like God was smiting me.
Yeah, every single time you try, you get a job at some sandwich place.
Oh, that was worse.
Yeah, and there was that dude who basically he knew that he was a piece of shit. Yeah. And so when they try to bring somebody in, he's going to run off the new people so that way they can't replace him.
Well, plus the paychecks were garbage.
Yeah.
I was not getting paid dick. I was actually getting, like, It was one of those weird places that like they tax your tips, like even your cash tips. We're like, because they'd pull it all together at the end of the day, but they would put it through the system.
Yeah.
You know, they'd like write it down. So like you would get a paycheck, like a weekly paycheck for like $200, and you're like, what the fuck is this? Well, you made about $300 in tips, and I'm like, what? Yeah. Like, I mean, I did, but I was like, but it was like $30 here, $40 a day. You know what I'm saying? Like it was at, and then also the guy was like just a fucking dickhead. Like he was like, get on my, and by the way, not my boss. Not my boss. He wasn't even the chef. He was just a fucking dude who worked there. And he would get up my ass, and I'd be like, yo, fucking get off my back. And one time I yelled at him, like, get the fuck out of my face, dude. Because he beat my face. I'm like, get the fuck out of my face. And then he, like, stared me down the whole time like he wanted to fight me. And I was like, is there a fucking, do we have a fucking problem, dude? Yeah. And that's what I was like, dude, this is not worth it. I'm making no money. This guy's a fucking cunt. Like, I don't want to fucking do this anymore. Right. And I texted the guy that ran the place. I was like, I'm done. And I went right back to Sexy Pizza, like, the moment I fucking, and then I worked there again. And then, like, I'll never forget, I was about to give my notice because I finally found a job. I was like, yeah. I'm fucking out of this bitch. And then I blew my arm out closing an oven door, and I had to stay there for another 6. I had to stay there. I had to stay there for 6 months. I had to.
It was rough.
Because I quit. If I quit, my fucking whatchamacallit checks disappear. My workman's comp checks, they're gone. And I can't work. No one's going to hire a guy with one fucking arm and one in a cast. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
No one's going to hire that guy. And I don't blame him. Like, why the fuck would you hire a guy like that?
Right.
But like, you know, so I had to like just rough it, and then like once I got the blessing of being like back to normal again, I was fucking out of there. No notice. Fuck you. Goodbye. Like I did not want to play that game again. I'm like, I'm not doing this.
No, last time I tried to give notice, my arm snapped. So
yeah, I'm not playing.
I don't know what kind of weird magic they have protecting that place.
But I also had a job like waiting for me, so I was like, it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
But like the moment I could get fucking back, I was like gone. I was fucking out of there. Because it was, I don't know, it was run badly. I didn't like my position there. They fucking kind of forced me into what I want. I never wanted to be an AGM.
Yeah.
It was one of those things I just walked into. All of a sudden I realized like, oh, I'm doing like fucking reports and shit. I'm doing like, and I'm like, I don't want to fucking do any of this shit.
Right.
And they weren't even paying me that well. Like they kind of were, but they kind of weren't. I don't know. It just sucked. But I'm happy I'm out of it. But like, you know, I mean, time, you know, just, I don't know. I don't know. It's
you know,
the past 6 years has been a fucking blur. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah. It's kind of weird. Remember when we were only like 4 years in a comedy and like, oh, this is going pretty good. Now you're like, oh, you're 10 years. Like, fuck, what happened those last 6 years? Shit. So,
yep. Yeah.
But you know what the thing is that we were in shit positions that we didn't like. We've made steps to change it, and we did.
Yeah. You
know, it doesn't mean that you're going from it's some euphoric place, but. Oh. It just means you're in a better spot than you were before, and should be happy with those little things. And then,
I mean, I generally like my job right now.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, my goal is to have this be my last job that I ever had.
Same here.
Yeah. So
but I'm trying to do the best job I can at it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But like, I don't want. There's like, I don't want it. This job's fucking fine. Like, everyone I work with is cool. It's very low stress. As long as you just do everything right, you're fine, and you show up on time.
Yeah.
You're good to go.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, can we do this anymore? I forgot.
I don't know. I think that it's one of those things where, like, do you know that means what? I'm like, no.
No, it doesn't. You fucking moron.
Do you know that's dog whistle? No, it doesn't.
Yeah, dude, you literally. Anyway, whatever. We don't have time for that rant.
Yeah, exactly.
We gotta get going.
Exactly. Speaking of which, I gotta go clock in. So, guys, this will be up on YouTube. The audio is going to be up on Spreaker. The Mansplaining with Jake and Dave. And it's all over everywhere, man. Don't forget to follow, subscribe. If you guys want to get started in comedy and you're in Colorado, there's 2 websites you can go to. You can go to the standby, the 5280comedy.com. Which is fine. I'm not talking shit about that. Or you can go to Colorado or denvercomedy.org or .net. That'll take you to the same place.
Okay.
CO open mics, that takes you to the same place where you have a much broader list of a lot of the mics that are going on. Are they there? Are they not? I don't know. Contact the people, whatever. Look it up on Facebook, but that's kind of how you get started. And, the fdenvercomedy.com, that also points to it as well. So, Which I think it's just funny because I wanted DenverComedy.com, but that fucking bovine, they're never letting go of that shit. So
yeah, they just do improv too, like don't
yeah,
they?
No, pretty much. Oh, also, if you guys want to buy some URLs, I've got dyslexicfuckbuckers.com.
I didn't realize you had that. That's that's hilarious.
Too. And of course, the favorite. This one's going to cost you $10K, but OlympicFreestyleButtfucking.com.
Yeah.
Because some days it'll be an event. So, I don't know. I'll gift it to my grandkids or something like
that. The dyslexic Fudbuckers.
That was going to be a great band name. That's a hack joke. I know I'm not the first.
Oh, no, that's fucking, that makes me laugh. That's fucking funny. I'll take that all day.
But I guess that's it, guys. Signing off for, I almost said disjointed. Signing off for Mansplaining. I'm Dave.
I'm Jacob.
Stay toxic.
Bye.